you did make a comment that David only made eye contact with Robyn. Did you feel that maybe
Robyn's very easy to talk to. I think
he was nervous?
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Reality Recap. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and like this episode. Sukanya Krishnan, the host of the Sister Wives Tell-All, was recently on the Sarah Fraser show sharing more information about the Brown family. Some of her remarks are about how close she is with them, as well as Kody Brown's relationship with his children today. She also opened up about why the Browns refuse to do group interviews, even though those could potentially resolve several ongoing issues. Keep reading to find out what she said. During the first portion of the tell-all, Kody was getting ready to head to Sedona with Robyn for the one-on-one interviews. But he paused to remember the days when they used to record the tell-alls in groups. According to Kody, the group interviews used to be such a wonderful experience, where they all stood by and covered for each other. Now, things have changed. Everyone seems more intent on airing each other's dirty laundry. Robyn, too, seemed dejected, stating she wasn't really looking forward to doing the tell-all anymore. She even kidded that she'd rather have a root canal than participate in the interviews. On the Sarah Fraser show, Suki was questioned regarding the Browns' end to conducting group interviews. It's quite obvious, she says in response, that they don't get along anymore, and a group interview would only be worse. Suki even suggested this idea to Kody, Robyn, Janelle, and Meri, but all of them had opted for individual interviews instead. Though they're not yet ready for a sit-down group, Suki feels that Christine could be receptive to it now that she's completely moved on from Kody. Either way, she said that Season 19's tell-all will reveal exactly how the family has come to be in this place. Suki also spoke about Kody's relationship with some of his older children. Recently, Kody has been criticized for being far away from his older children from past marriages. Even Mike Kelty said that his relationship with them is not the same anymore, particularly since Garrison died. But as per Suki, it is just the opposite now. She described how Kody is going out of his way to reestablish those relationships, making a conscious effort to look at his sons as men and his daughters as young women. Whereas some of the children have locked him out, others remain willing to let him in again. As Sister Wives Season 19's tell-all approaches its third installment, it is already getting fiery. During the one-on-one interviews, Kody explained how he feels hurt by the backlash he receives for being close to Robyn. It even reached a point where host Sukanya Krishnan publicly called him out for refusing to accept responsibility for the favoritism. But Kody didn't stop there. He's turned his attention to Janelle now. In a new TLC promo for Part 3, some additional shocking moments are hinted at. Keep reading to watch the clip. In the latter part of the tell-all, Janelle made some strong claims regarding Robyn and Kody. She explained it was not Robyn's fault that the family fell apart. But by the same token, she is not innocent either. It takes two, Janelle said, and Kody has played the bad guy role to deflect all blame away from Robyn. She also pointed out that Kody has never behaved in this manner until individuals started blaming Robyn for splitting up the family. TLC recently dropped a sneak peek clip from the new Part 3 of the tell-all, where Kody is heard making a dramatic statement about money and intimacy being on the line. He then asserted that Janelle had too much control over her money. His words followed Suki, who inquired about Coyote Pass. Kody confessed that he kept secrets from Janelle regarding the property because he cannot trust her with it. Janelle, meanwhile, in the preview, confirmed that Kody targeted all his wives. They're attempting to leave behind the location that's hurt them the worst. At one point, Christine remarked on how sex had never been problematic in the past, clearly shocked that Kody is now making it so. David Woolley even weighed in, suggesting that he can provide Christine with what she had always lacked. In the newest clip, Meri Brown was visibly uneasy with David Woolley joining the tell-all with Christine. She wondered why Christine would speak to her new spouse about her ex. Fans were quick to chime in. Some were with Meri, thinking that she made a fair point, while others thought David was doing nothing wrong by being there. Viewers think of David as the kind of guy who would diplomatically tell his wife when he's had enough of the Kody chatter. Online comments reflected that opinion. A fan sarcastically chimed in, "Where's your boyfriend, Meri?" Followed by emojis like a thinking face, rolling eyes, shrug, wave, and victory sign. Another added, "I see Meri's point, but Christine's being paid to talk about Kody. That's why she keeps doing it." They suggested that if it weren't for the show, Christine probably wouldn't bring Kody up at all. During her appearance on Sarah Fraser's podcast, the tell-all host shared a rare personal perspective. Through years of behind-the-scenes dealing and extensive conversations with the Browns, she created a richer, more varied portrait of the family, one much richer than the one viewers usually get to see on television. It's a family that's fractured, drifting apart, and slowly working through the emotional fallout of past choices made in the name of faith, love, and truth. As the recent season unfolded, the tell-all began with Kody preparing for a trip to Sedona. He wasn't alone. He was joined by the one wife still at his side. He remembered once upon a time, now some distance away, when all the wives would come together for collective interviews. They were plain days. There was one couch, the same memories, and a sense of togetherness. There were laughs, defending each other, and wanting to look like a team back then. Those days are now memories. The warmth and comfort of the past have given way to tension and unresolved hurt. It was once a family standing together before the cameras, Kody said, now a litany of interviews where everybody stands alone, on their own side of the emotional battlefield. His final remaining wife, Robyn, wasn't reticent about being tired. Rather than being excited, she conveyed how exhausting and painful the tell-all format had gotten. She even remarked that she'd rather endure physical suffering than relive the emotional burden of it all. Her words reflected just how deep the wounds are. On the podcast, the host disclosed that she had raised the possibility of returning to the original group interview style. But the answer she received was silent but adamant refusal. She had individually requested Kody, Robyn, and the former wives, and they all said no. It wasn't out of anger or fear, but because they're not emotionally prepared. The bond that once kept them together has frayed too much to fix so quickly. She indicated only one of the former wives appeared emotionally healthy enough to go back to a group environment. That woman has healed, moved on, and no longer bears grudges. The host described how forcing a group moment at this point would only serve to worsen the situation. There would be no laughter or encouragement, only blame, tension, and reopening old wounds that are not yet healed yet. She reiterated that the tell-all is not about generating drama, but bringing healing and understanding. And the best way to do that, right now, is through private, honest exchanges, not coercive group confrontations. In her candid discussion with Sarah Fraser, the host also broached one of the most emotionally charged subjects. The relationship between the patriarch and his older kids has also been the subject of increasing scrutiny. In the past few years, numerous fans have commented on the emotional distance and tension that appear to emanate from his kids, particularly those in his previous marriages. Public opinion has portrayed him as a father who has emotionally disconnected, one who has walled himself off rather than being present for his older children when they needed him the most. One of his daughters even conceded that her relationship with her father shifted, particularly following a recent tragedy that struck the whole family hard. But the tell-all host provided an alternate explanation. He's not pulling away, she said. He's silently working towards getting back. She described that he's working hard, if clumsy and imperfectly, to re-establish a connection with his children. He no longer views them as children, but as adults with complex feelings and different trajectories. He's attempting to be respectful of their experiences, their anger, and their worth as adults. Nevertheless, she acknowledged that not all children are prepared to forgive or reconnect. There are those who have built emotional walls to safeguard their peace. There are others who have left the door open, still hoping, still giving previews of affection and the potential for healing. This year, more than any previous one, has made it apparent just how far the family has fallen apart. Where they once spoke with one voice, due to shared convictions and shared living, now every member of the family appears to be going their own separate way. The women who previously shared the same spiritual and domestic journey are now redefining their identity, seeking careers, personal development, and lives no longer centered around one man. They are no longer ex-wives, the host noted. They are visionaries. They have begun businesses, entered new relationships, and recovered their personal power by discovering their own voices. They do not linger in the past in regret, but rather regard it as the starting point to something greater. In contrast, the single wife who does remain is often found caught in the middle, between loyalty and loneliness. Her dedication to her husband is regarded by many with suspicion, even sympathy. But in that loyalty, she discovers a sense of purpose, a variation of truth that speaks to her, even if it means standing alone among the rest. Having spent many hours with the Browns behind the scenes, the tell-all host shared that what the public views is only half the story. While one may feel awkwardness or tension on television, what goes on behind doors is more thoughtful and nuanced. The father is often lost in thought regarding the decisions he's made. At times, he talks of regret. At others, he's merely trying to comprehend how everything fell apart. The host also spoke of his ex-wife's healing paths. One has achieved peace through spiritual seeking, another through the establishment of her own enterprise, and another in the warmth of a new love affair. The kids, too, are forging their own paths, some taking a distance from the fray, others still sorting out their identity in the wake of a family that once lived openly and en masse. Season 19 rolls on, and this tell-all is proving to be the most candid episode so far. Every one-on-one interview reveals another emotional reality, from abandonment issues to moments of strength, from emotional distance to flashes of brutal honesty. These interviews aren't revealing so much as what occurred, though that in itself is telling enough. They're uncovering how each one is dealing with the aftermath. The host concluded her podcast appearance by saying the era of a collective family story may have passed, but that doesn't lessen their individual story in any way. Actually, that's where the true change is occurring. No longer constrained by duty or tradition, each member now speaks from an independent place. As the Tell-All series continues to focus in on the messy Brown family dynamic, the emotional chasm and individual realities of every member are clearer than ever. In these new episodes, the fight is not merely over old wounds, it's about fresh, painful truths being exposed for the world to see. With building tensions, raw confessions, and profoundly human introspection, the third installment of this intense reunion doesn't pull punches. These are the gritty, unvarnished chapters of a formerly united family, now divided into separate stories, one with its own stakes of emotion. As the lights faded for another round of introspective interviews, Janelle settled in with a resolute, unflinching look. Her voice, exhausted, determined, but etched with sadness, talked about the gradual fraying of the shared hope that had once brought her to plural marriage. She did not place blame at any one person's feet. Never was it one person's doing, Janelle said firmly. Two people are needed in order to create something wonderful or tear it apart. She did, however, admit to Robyn's increasing part in the family's breakdown, but she made no bones about the fact that Kody had started behaving in ways that were almost self-destructive. The more fault that fell on Robyn, the more Kody appeared to protect her, even if that meant shouldering all the repercussions himself. What really left viewers speechless wasn't so much Janelle's revelation about the past, so much as her implication that Kody may have intentionally portrayed himself as a villain in order to spare Robyn from blame. Just as the emotional drama appeared to have reached a boiling point, a new preview for the next episode created waves among fans. Already in trouble for his bias and aloofness, Kody surprised everyone when he went after, not critics or outsiders, but Janelle herself. In his one-on-one interview with the Tell-All host, Kody's demeanor hardened as he strayed into new ground, intimacy and money management. "This is not about love anymore," he stated, his voice cold and cutting. "It's about control of money and control of affection." Then came the strike many perceived as below the belt. Kody accused Janelle of having too much control over her own money, casting her self-reliance as a threat rather than an asset. He even went so far as to suggest that he'd kept her in the dark about important things related to the family property at Coyote Pass because simply he didn't trust her. That charge cut deep, not only for Janelle, but for many who had revered her as the family's breadwinner for years. She'd been the one always working, financing, shared aspirations, and keeping things together. Now that history was being reinterpreted, with her independence being portrayed as a weakness instead of a strength. The emotional burden did not stop with Janelle. Christine, already physically and emotionally detached from the family, sat across from her new partner, who had become a subdued spectator to this developing drama. When Christine responded to Kody's words, she appeared both shocked and inwardly seething. "We never established intimacy as the basis for connection," she had said, her eyes tight for a very long time, as though steeling herself to complete the sentence. "Bringing it up now, after all this, is simply dishonest." Her new boyfriend complied in silence, subsequently detailing in another clip that what Christine had always required was respect, emotional stability, and that type of constant connection that simply wasn't present in her marriage with Kody. Sadly, some emotions simmered quietly, while others boiled over, particularly with Meri. Guarded as a rule at keeping a calm and stoic presence, even she reached a breaking point. But rather than targeting Kody, she targeted Christine, and Christine's new boyfriend's presence at the interviews. "Why are we even doing this if your boyfriend's just going to sit through it all?" Meri demanded, shaking, not with fear, but anger. "Why is it okay to bring him here just to discuss your ex-husband?" Her words immediately roused backlash. While some viewers sympathized with Meri's discomfort, many others defended Christine. They argued that having someone supportive present might actually help, especially when reliving painful memories in front of the world. Reactions have been split. Some fans say Meri had a valid point. Others believe that the tell-all has evolved, just like the family itself. These conversations are no longer about preserving a united front. They're about personal truth, healing, and showing up authentically, no matter who's sitting next to you. The emotional waves of this latest tell-all haven't been confined to just the Brown family. Across social media, fans have been diving into the drama, sharing a wide range of opinions and takes. One viewer observed, "Her new guy seems like the kind of person who'd gently tell her when enough is enough. He's calm, supportive. Where's Meri's support system?" Another added, "I can see why Meri does feel the way she does. It's not easy sitting by yourself while others get comforted through every emotional step." And another person got blunt about it. "Let's be real. Christine's being compensated for talking about her history. It's not like she's just casually bringing it up over dinner. This is her career." At the heart of all this emotional drama sits a larger question. Where does personal experience stop and where does the showmanship start? Each ex-wife, each spouse, new or old, is negotiating a minefield of memories, resentment, and perpetual public scrutiny. Janelle's resistance to Kody's words isn't merely a matter of personal offense. It's a reflection of a deeper rift. A rift sparked by shattered trust, asymmetrical emotional investment, financial distrust, and an obvious lack of regular communication. Yet for all the pain, Janelle will not retreat from what she knows is right for her. Christine's journey is separate, but no less interesting. Her journey isn't so much about letting go, it's about finding herself back. Bringing her new boyfriend along on the tell-all isn't so much for support, it's a message. One in which she lets herself know that she's far gone from feelings of hollowness to genuine connection. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for day-to-day updates, and I'll catch you in the next video.